Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Druda Entertainment and Breaking Rocks episode. I forgot what the hell number it is, but you see the title of it. Obviously, we're here to talk about game journalists. 18. Fuck. I got in front of me into the. I got it right in front of me on my second screen here. Okay. Way to be observant, Drew. But episode 18 of Breaking Rocks, game journos are at it again, or as I call them, game activists. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get into what's the best way to describe the Canadian idiot? The uh, the butthole of Canada. Without saying the name live on YouTube of a certain guy with a mustache from the 1940s. Effectively. But but we'll get more into him later when there's people in the chat. But to start out with, it's February 16th, and in mine and Desert Nord's family, that day holds some kind of significance to us because in 2006, that was the day that mine and Desert Nord's dad passed away. So, and that was a day that changed the direction of where life went for all of us to the point of where it is right now. So, we're going to start while waiting for anyone to come into the chat, going over from my perspective in Desert Nord's the proceedings of what happened that day from our points of view, because I imagine it's not going to be completely the same for both of us. So, because I know that I did things that day that you didn't. So, the best way to do this was, I guess, basically start at the start of the morning. I don't remember exactly what I did right away when I got up. I do remember going outside to shovel the driveway at one point because I knew Dad was going to have us do that for Mom to come home from work. Just like he would normally say when he was there to say it, right? So I went out to shovel the driveway because the snowplow wasn't working or the snow blower wasn't working, so we had to use shovels. So I did that. Then I guess I went back to playing video games or something for at least a little bit, or watching TV or something. My memory of the day really picks up when Mom called right after she got done at work, because we hadn't seen Dad that entire time up at all, right? So, what's that? I don't recall that. All I recall is answering the phone. Mom was calling home on her cell phone. She was just getting done at work, and she was going to do some errands before she came home. And she said to me on the phone, "Have you seen your dad?" And I replied with, "He hasn't been up all day." And then she went, well, you should go wake him up then. So I did. Okay. Yeah. So I can't remember if I handed you the phone or if I hung up and went to wake up Dad, but I attempted to. I shook him lightly at first. There was no response. I shook him a little harder. I didn't really shake him all that much because I didn't want to hurt Dad, because Dad being sick and frail and all, right? So I called Mom back right away and went, Dad's not responding. And yeah, and then I remember mom saying to me, "I'm I, I'm coming straight home." She 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 was not going to run any of the errands. She's coming straight home at that point, and did. Uh, And 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 then mom went in the room, came out crying, and went, "He's gone." And that's how we discovered that dad had passed away. But as mom told me later on, she remember kissing dad goodbye when she went to work that morning before the sun came up. He felt a little cold, and that's when she went, he was probably gone at that point. Oh, already. So that means that you and I went through all that time that day in complete ignorance of dad was probably already with Jesus at that point. And I I believe I had the day off from work at the store at that point. So I was just up doing my usual thing of playing Xbox in my room at that point. But yeah. So we knew that it was gonna happen at some point, like at some point, but until it happens, you just don't really think that it's gonna be that day either. And then also on a side note, from my point of view, right after mom had said that he's gone, eventually she said to me that I had to go outside and shovel the front stoop to the front door of the house so they could come and get dad's body. So that was hard to do. Well, 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 well. The thing was, I had shoveled the driveway while you were sleeping, but but the problem was, as soon as I got done and back in the house, it started snowing at that point. It did not stop for the rest of like the next like 24 hours or so as well. Yeah, yeah. And 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 I remember thinking while shoveling, or should I say after the fact that I shoveled the front pathway to the front door of the house, it's snowing really hard. It's almost as if the world knows that one of the good ones just went home. Yeah. Well, well, hmm, there are two reasons why I hate February. One, I'm single, so Valentine's Day, and two, today. So, well, on a silly note, it's sunny out right now. It's above freezing, so the snow's melting here. So it's actually a nice day uh in southeast Minnesota right now, which is kind of silly compared to 16 years ago today. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. But with that in mind, what was your perspective from the moment that you got up that day 16 years ago? And and then that was when I called mom back then. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I was the one that called Jewel, and at first she thought it was a bad fucking joke. Yeah. Oh, fuck. God damn it. I forgot to turn you guys up. Sorry, Chunk.
We're doing a silent vigil here.
I guess we're gonna go back through it again since we got Chunk here.
Well, I mean, look,
at least a little bit.
Gist. I mean,
yeah,
it's sort of more personal to us anyway.
Yeah, but
those type of details are irrelevant to your audience.
Well,
just that they understand that this is a day that we always remember what happened and how it's affected us and all that.
Which I can tell this story. When I was a senior in high school, I had a class called Family Living class. And one of the projects that we had to bring a wire coat hanger, if anyone remembers what those look like at this point.
They still exist.
Well, not near as much because I don't have any wire hangers in my closet. They're all plastic, but still.
Yeah.
Boomer,
what'd you do with the hanger in school?
We had to bring the hanger to school. We had to fill out on little pieces of paper, and then the names of the members of our immediate family. So for me, it was dad, mom, you, Nord, our sister, and myself, and tie them to the hanger, right? Unbeknownst to all of us, the next day we were supposed to get up in front of the class with our hanger, cut a name out of the hanger, and then talk candidly in front of the class, if you could do that candidly at that point, what our family would be like without that person in it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
That's kind of an emotionally damaging project.
Yeah, but with my hanger, unbeknownst to me, overnight, one of the names fell off.
Oh, yeah.
It was Dad's.
Yeah,
No.
I had premonitions myself, No,
keep
in... I think it was probably in the 2005 period. I had one particular dream that was basically premonition like that.
No.
And
yeah.
I don't make much of it, but yeah, it's the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Now keep in mind that when I was a senior in high school, it was a time frame of 03 to 04. So Dad was still here. He had like a couple of years left to his life.
But he was ill.
So this happened in family living class, and I got up in front of the class to talk about what my family would be like if my dad had passed away. Unbeknownst to me, it was going to happen a couple years later. But I simply said to our class, if my dad were not in our family anymore, I firmly believe that, well, I don't believe that this would happen emotionally or spiritually, but physically over distance, our family would wind up drifting apart. For a time, you ended up living in Las Vegas. Mom was in Florida. Our sister was up near Minneapolis, and I'm still right here where I am. So what I said then came to pass.
Sure. You know that is. It's not like as soon as he passed, we became distant with each other. It wasn't like he was the only glue or something.
That's true.
As
we well know that's Mom, but still.
Yeah. See, the thing is, but it's more than that, though. It's not like we're not close.
We are, yeah.
So it's more than just even Mom is the glue. It's like Dad was the glue, Mom was the glue. We were glued to each other anyway. So it was, one of those things where it was going. If that type of thing would always be devastating to any family.
Yeah.
But devastating in the way that actually it's the opposite initially, because we clustered together more than any other family would afterwards.
Yeah.
Me and you especially were like, sort of like a mom needs us kind of a thing, and so.
And then after that, you and I became each other's conduit.
Well, yeah. But what I mean by that is like the splitting apart, I guess, is like inevitable. It should be inevitable. Families aren't supposed to live together in like a
True.
Like some kind of 60s sitcom style life in normal circumstances. Each child is supposed to grow up, get to their adulthood, and move on to their own family and their own life. That's natural.
But what I was talking about, as I said earlier, it wasn't about like us not being close, like spiritually or like a loving family. It was over distance in the physical world.
Well, sure, that also happens, and there's no logical, reasonable expectation that like if you happen to settle in a small town, you're always all gonna stay there. It's like that. Some people's families are like that, but some people's families aren't that way. It's really kind of a half and half. But yeah, that's not to say there wasn't a huge shift in the structure of the family and a huge shift in how we all had to change it up, without Dad in the picture, that always changes everything. So, that goes without saying, but it also is important to stress that that's basically the effect it had on us.
And the one last thing I want to say about this before we get to the actual topics we got, because I did want to talk about this because it is February 16th, 16 years ago today, almost to the very hour, because it was in the late afternoon in which we discovered that Dad had passed. So it's yes. So it's like a couple hours away from like 0 hour, effectively. Because it was like 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. And it's like 2:30 here now. So, but the one last thing I got is I thought about it after the fact. I didn't know what I was going to do with cutting the name out of the hanger at the time. And and part of me is glad that I didn't have to choose. But after thinking about it years later, I know now what name I would have cut out of that hanger if Dad's name hadn't fallen off. Mine.
See, the reason they probably would say to you in that project, you can't cut your own name out because then all you're really going to be doing is talking about your own self-importance. And that probably wasn't the point of the project, is to tell the class how important you are to your own family.
Now, I don't remember if I couldn't do that or not. I'm pretty sure you're right that wasn't allowed. But I don't remember, the entire fucking thing.
Assume, they were like, cut somebody out and assume it's not you. Sort of thing.
But at the same time, I'm actually kind of glad that Dad's name fell off, so I didn't have to cut anything out. Because I know I could not bring myself to cut Dad out because it was Dad. Mom is Mom. I was never gonna cut out.
This is what everyone.
And same thing for Jewel.
This is what everyone was going through. But you see, the thing you weren't supposed to think was that you were actually doing that. You weren't supposed to think that, oh yeah, I'm actually cutting somebody out of my family, so this is really hard. That what they were trying to get you to do is to imagine the happenstance, the circumstance of one being cut out, not by your will, but by circumstances. Like, you weren't supposed to be like, oh my God, if I cut them out, they're gonna be gone. It's like, you weren't supposed to think that. That wasn't supposed to be your reaction.
Well, that turned out to be. That turned out to be my.
It could be hard because you weren't supposed to imagine you actually are successfully accomplishing cutting them out. You were just supposed to imagine what if.
It's kind of hard not to think that, especially now with everything that has happened.
That's all hindsight, bro.
Yeah.
You're talking about what you felt at the time, or what you would have felt at the time, and how would you know? If they were telling you it's just a what if, you'd have been like, shit, I'll call everybody out and see what happens. Let's talk about the whole family. It's just leave me, You could have cut anybody, and it wouldn't have mattered because it was just what if. And so, if you are psychologically mature about it, you would say, okay, regardless of reality, this is what it would look like, what I would have to go through if this person, that person, or this person or that person were in the family anymore.
Yeah.
It's just an idea experiment. It wasn't supposed to fucking traumatize you. So, I mean,
I'm not saying that
nobody in the class was supposed to think okay, well, this is an exercise in unloving your family. That wasn't what it was supposed to be either. So,
but still, I stand by what I said, that if I had been allowed to, I would have cut myself out of it because, well, obvious thinking now because of everything that happened.
Which I hope you don't have permanent trauma, because that isn't what Dad would want you to have. Dad would want you to be a strong, emotionally stable man, despite what all went on. You know that, right?
In terms of the project at school, no, it did not scar me. In fact,
I'm talking about Dad's passing.
Dad's passing. It was going to happen eventually.
No, I know. I'm talking about what Dad would want, how Dad would want you to feel about it. I'm talking about how he would want you to be a strong, stable man about it, and be like, my dad's gone before me. That's the way of things.
This will give you a snippet on how strong about it I am.
Yeah.
If you go back 10 years, several times a year, it would cross my mind. Nowadays, it only ever crosses my mind on February 16th. The day that it happened. That's it.
Well, but see, my point about the whole strength aspect is that if you can imagine, not that you don't think about it, but that when you do think about it, that you aren't brought to ruin emotionally at every chance you think about it. That would be being a little stronger about it. Because, I mean, Dad's passing was, of course, tragic and sad and not good for any of us. and really unfortunate for him also. But it is important, and it is what he would want for us to, live our lives and be, not let it affect our own lives as much as, stunting us or anything.
The only thing I can say about how I feel about it now is it's all wrapped up in a song called "Cats in the Cradle."
Well, the thing about that song is that that was a song about a son becoming his father, becoming just like his father. That's what that song's about.
Yeah, but for me, it's specifically the words in the song. When you coming home, son? I don't know when, Dad, but we'll get together then. We'll have a good time then.
Yeah. Well, it is about a good relationship, but a typical modern relationship. It's a really well written song and a really nice father son song. What it is sort of like bittersweet irony. Is really the tale there. I would hope that there isn't too many parallels, because while Dad's passing was as bad as it was for us, I don't hope that it's the same situation for either one of us. I mean, I would hope that me and you and our sister live much, much longer than he did. Because he died very young by comparison to other people. He was only 49. And that's not exactly the age you hear about most people passing.
Yeah.
So I would hope there isn't too many similarities between our lives. And I take a lot of...
My goal is to get to 60, so...
As a lesson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just... but you're right, though. It was a really, really touching song, and
somebody's controller turned off, I think. Well, I'm talking about the one who was talking, Nord. Did the comet hit in Arizona?
No, I'm sorry, I'm here. My phone turned off.
Yeah, I was just saying that was the case. You were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying that any good father-son song should remind you of your father. That's completely natural.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to throw cold water on the idea that song should mean something to you. Of course it should, and it could, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. But to move on, because we do have at least one person in the chat, Chunk, with us. That's obviously not on the panel, like Joshy's in the chat as well. Let's get to why we're here, and then we'll get to the other side topics that we got, which is the Super Bowl, the halftime show, the asshole in Canada. Game activists are at it again, claiming that Horizon Forbidden West, as you guys see by the thumbnail, is cultural appropriating Native American culture, and Mara brought this to my attention on Twitter while I was at work yesterday morning. You can't have it both ways, morons. Activists in our country can't have it both ways. If this game is cultural appropriating Native American culture, then what God's green fucking earth do you have against Native American references with the Cleveland Indians, the Washington Redskins, the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, like I had said before, bro. The problem with their argument is that on one side of the equation, namely the black side of the equation, they always want representation. Everything needs to insert, African American people in everything, everywhere, every commercial, every movie, every show, every everything. but not Native Americans. Not Native Americans. Native Americans, we need to remove their symbolism. We need to remove their culture because it's separate, and we should not be including any of their symbolism, any of their depictions, any depictions of anything related to them, because it's appropriation.
I have a lot to shit to say here.
Yeah, it's an illogical thing for them to do, and it almost seems, it almost seems like this is just racism, more racism, not less, not the lack of racism, but just more racism.
I'm just taking a sip of my pop before I go off here. So my throat's a little wet here. Because like I said, I got a lot of shit to say about this. Get ready to see the bottom of the rabbit hole, folks. So, when we want to talk about cultural appropriation, what the fuck does that mean in America? Go back to when we were kids. What was America referred to? A melting pot of cultures. So what is America? It's Native American heritage. It's Black heritage. It's Eastern European heritage. It's all of it rolled into one place. The United States of America, folks. Which brings up another thought. You want to talk about racism and this, that, and the other thing? Racism is trying to erase a culture from any reference. Racism is trying to wipe out Native American culture. Newsflash, folks, they're called Native Americans because this is their fucking land. So if anything, if anyone had any right to wipe out anyone's culture, it would be them to wipe ours out. Just saying.
If I may interject,
which I don't agree with, but I'm just saying.
If I may interject one small thing.
Yeah.
The history of cultures being overtaken by other cultures.
Yeah.
And peoples being overtaken or conquested or invaded or whatever phrase you'd like to use by other peoples. The only rule that civilization has ever abided by in regards to that.
Yeah.
And every single race and every single ethnicity has been a victim and a perpetrator of this. And believe me, before the white man came to North America, Native American tribes hated each other. And we're at war constantly.
Kind of like right now politically in America.
No, what I'm saying is that even they don't follow their own little "this was our you taking it from us" rule. They didn't go by those rules before white Europeans came, so it's disingenuous for them to pretend that the rules aren't anything other than you get to have whatever land you can defend. That is the rule that civilization has always played by. Anyone arguing anything other than that is virtue signaling about morals and all, or whatever.
So
you get to keep what land you can defend. You get to keep the borders you can defend. You get to keep the land you can defend. If you can't defend it, you lose it. That's the morals and ethics of our civilization from the beginning to now. Still in play.
So to the bottom of the rabbit hole, this is what's at the bottom of this rabbit hole. The game activists claiming this, they are the ones that are the racists here. And that's the bottom of this rabbit hole.
Like we always say with woke culture, the difference between racism, like KKK type racism, like anti-colored person racism,
yeah,
and woke culture is the effect is exactly the same.
And
they'll treat people of color like second-class citizens.
Mm-hmm.
They will say that they're incapable of everything. They will remove the representation. Of course, except for when it's blacks, then they're trying to inject the representation everywhere they can possibly inject it.
Hey, Red Hood. Sorry.
They don't have a common logic. a common logic about what is racist and what isn't. I mean, one moment having a depiction is racist, and the next moment not having a representation is racist.
I just realized that Red Hood has winked in their name, so I will wink back at you. But as we were saying, game activists, cultural appropriation, you'll complain about that, but Madden is A-okay because it doesn't harm people except for problem gamblers, and then the content in the game suffers to the point where it cannot compete on a football sim level with ESPN NFL 2K5 or All Pro Football 2K8. Games that are over 10 years old. Okay, good job, game activists. And I call you activists for a reason, because of shit like this. Because you do want to know who the real game journalists are? Angry Joe, Geeks and Gamers, Lethal Lightning, Drew Dat Games, Joshy064, and Desert Nord. Those are the real game journalists in this space. All of you are just pushing your stupid bullshit because it's your fucking talking point.
Well, their most important thing is politics. That's the most important thing to them.
No, don't get me wrong. Politics is important to Angry Joe, but at least he separates it from his game reviews for the most part. So I will give Angry Joe that much credit because he continues to earn it.
The truth for everyone that is not, a woke game journalist, activist, basically, is that they came to the industry because of their political views, and they found an industry ripe for the taking, ripe for the picking, an injection of political attitudes that weren't there. Whereas everybody else was already here. And was like, what is this? We're seeing more and more of injected political themes into basic games.
No.
And into things that had nothing to do with it.
No, it's one thing for games and movies to have political themes if they fit the world that's been created. The problem is that they're forcing real world ones into made-up universes. That's the problem. For example, politics that worked. Star Wars. The politics involved in Star Wars, for example, the constant back and forth in the Senate of the Galactic Republic over blockades and this, that, and the other thing, that fit the universe because that was what was going on in that universe, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if George Lucas knew how to write a story, and here's the thing. He didn't write a story where the villain was, named Admiral Trump,
The villain was a Dark Lord of the Sith, someone who killed younglings.
The characters were made up. They were only tenuously analogous to any actual real-world villain, and the themes were only tenuously, if you were reading very, very hard between the lines, would you be able to say, okay, well, this is an analogy for world politics in real life. He had some of that in the original Star Wars, but it was not so thick that you would be like, all right, well, I know what he's criticizing right now,
Yeah.
like these people's works.
Yeah. It's not punch you in the face and like it. It was, in the case of George Lucas, subtle. It was there, but it wasn't, the story wasn't hinging completely on it.
Yeah, and the bad guys also do things that are logical but evil.
Yeah.
Anyone know why the First Order decided to blow up all the Republic planets just out of nowhere? Anybody know?
Because they were there.
Yeah, great plot there.
Wait.
You're great.
Wait, I got a better one. Because they obstructed Starkiller Base's view of Venus.
The thing is that what the modern writers of these stories don't understand is that bad people don't just do bad things. That's not entirely what makes them evil. Okay, what makes them more insidious, like with Vader and the Emperor, is that they have a plan, and that for them, this is beneficial. For the First Order to blow up all the Republic planets was just idiotic move. Like, you literally just pissed off like everyone in the entire galaxy. And, those that you didn't murder. And it's just idiotic. Like, whereas with what Vader was doing measured things to actually get something accomplished for his side. That's not what the First Order was doing.
Mm-hmm.
First Order was just being vengeful, hateful, ridiculous. Something that no actual real world bad person doing things for their own, national or ethnic gain would ever do. I mean, it'd be like if a nation was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna screw myself over by just nuking a bunch of nations randomly. Like, anyone who isn't stupid and understands any basic diplomacy or international politics understands that you can't just attack people indiscriminately and expect no horrible consequences on yourself. So the fact they wrote that into the more recent stuff is baffling to me, how they thought that would be like a really, really compelling villain situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not. It's really more like Cracker Jack box villain. It's like hilariously overdone villain.
Quite. So Joshy hasn't.
And it's a villain people ended up actually sympathizing with more than hating, because they made the hero characters.
So Joshy hasn't gotten to say much. So Game Jurnos at it again, doing their usual activist horse shit. As I said, I personally call them game activists, because the real journalists are Angry Joe, Geeks and Gamers, you, myself, Desert Nord, and people like us. So, Joshy, your thoughts on Forbidden West being cultural appropriation for Native American culture?
And no matter whatever the game developers actually do, the activists are never going to be happy. They're always going to find something to bitch and cry about, no matter what. They always find something out of the crevices of or whatnot, though, deep in the damn corners. Like, oh yeah, there's this thing. Oh, it's a good game, but there's this. Also, another thing I would probably want to mention as well too. I don't know. Seems like, I don't know, from pictures I've seen. I don't know. You're probably gonna play it though, right, Drew? But
play what?
The Horizon Dawn, the new one, right?
Yes, I have it pre-ordered. Which reminds me, how far along is the delivery for it?
But what I'm saying is, I don't know. From pictures I've seen, the protagonist was really cute in the first one, and I don't know, in pictures for the new one, it seems like they made her face chubby. I don't know. Maybe you could probably, once you play, you can tell me more about that, though. I don't know. Every time they have a beautiful woman, they always end up making ugly. I don't know.
That's the way I see it. It's currently slated to arrive next Wednesday now.
But yeah, for activists and whatnot, though, they're happy. Developers, some developers just bend over backwards for them, and all of a sudden they're still not happy about what they put out, though. But
Which
they can just go screw themselves. No matter saying.
Which I will say that I will be doing an unboxing of Horizon Forbidden West when it arrives on the very day that it arrives. Drew that games, and then I'll be playing it on my PS4 Pro on the gaming channel as well once I have it. Assuming that and it's looking like it won't be here before launch day, much less on launch day now. So I won't have to worry about anything other than unboxing it, getting it loaded up, and any patches installed, and then playing it when it comes. So, but on that note, I am looking forward to playing Horizon Forbidden West, and as I've said about other things, with mainstream game activists butthurt about something, I'm more interested in playing it when they don't like something. I'm just saying. Chunk the Punk in the chat. Games, urinalists.
Yep.
Fair enough. But on that note, a topic that you guys in the chat probably won't give a shit about, but Desert Nord and I do, or at least the next two topics are tied together effectively because the NFL chose to. The Super Bowl.
Yep.
Played in Los Angeles, won by the LA Rams. Kitty tried to go meow, but I watched the entire Super Bowl, including the halftime show. Fuck my life. That's 30 minutes I'll never have back. But Kitty was going to go meow. Then the refs decided to cut the cat's tongue out so it couldn't go meow at the end of the game. I feel. Nord?
Well, I mean, it is a really, really... It could have been a really, really, really uplifting underdog story for the Bengals to finally win. I thought at the start of the second half was where I thought the Rams were letting it slip. I really did. I thought they were letting it slip, and that call that the Rams had against them was earlier in the first half was going to totally be the moment everybody talked about being where the refs screwed the Rams. But then they got a really favorable set of calls at the end that ended up giving them the win.
Yeah.
So it evened out now.
It makes
the Bengals defense was not better than the Rams defense. We knew this coming in.
Yeah.
I said this to the people I was with. I was with our office at his Super Bowl party, and I said the Rams defense is better than the Bengals, and defense wins championships. That's been true forever. I mean, defense wins championships.
And so do referees.
Sometimes a high-powered offense can pull it off, like what the Seahawks did against the Broncos. Occasionally an offense can really make things look stupid. But a defense, if you have both parts, you are in way better shape than if you only have one. And the Bengals have only had offense. Their defense has never been this year, not been great. I mean, they have given up 20-plus points in half a dozen games,
Mm-hmm.
And they're not shutting teams down. They were just overpowering them on offense. And so they needed to do that if they were going to beat the Rams. But they really didn't. And you noticed that how little running game there was from both sides.
Yeah.
The running backs were getting stuffed left and right, losing yards on runs.
Yeah. So therefore, because in the running game, there was no clock management either.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thoroughly disagree with the way the Bengals played the ending, the fourth quarter. They played it very dumb, if you ask me. They were begging for what happened with the way they played the clock. They ended up with a timeout.
Yeah. But the reason
who does that? When you're losing, you don't end the game with a timeout.
Yeah, but the reason that I bring up the Super Bowl is because of the refs fucking everything up, as they so often do anymore. But more than that is, I feel like the NFL is turning into WWE at this point. If you guys know what I mean by that.
Yeah, well.
The NFL is determining whom they want to be the champion at the end of the year, and screw competition is what it comes down to.
I wouldn't say that this game, I mean, if you're really being fair, instead of having, a go Bengals attitude about it,
well,
if you're really being fair, you would say that there was like 2 or 3 questionable calls in the game, and none of them were like totally egregious. Except for that face mask, that was the worst. But you see, that went against the Rams. That face mask call.
It's not really,
And so that being the worst call of the game, and the Rams still won, makes it irrelevant.
It's not really even just this Super Bowl. If you go back to 2001 when the Patriots won the Super Bowl, what else happened in 2001?
No, yeah, I know the Tuck rule and all that.
No, 9/11. So
yeah, that too.
So who had to win the Super Bowl?
Completely relevant to football.
Not the best team in the league, the Rams. The Patriots had to win because America, fuck yeah.
Well,
and you could go back to many Super Bowls since and go, it felt like that this team won because they had to. Almost as if someone like planned it. If that makes sense.
I'll give you that games in recent years have been bad, and that it's all been Brady and the Patriots, or Brady and the Bucs, or Mahomes and the Chiefs really getting a lot of favorable calls and favorable play.
Meanwhile, a lot of the times, the best team in the league, the most complete team, doesn't even get to the Super Bowl sometimes.
Well, that happens too, yes. The Cardinals did amazing this year, but then got completely BTFO'd in the playoffs. Didn't make it. And they could have easily won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was because of late season injuries, and because by the time playoffs came along, everybody was so banged up, they couldn't get through the playoffs. But they absolutely had one of the best records of the whole NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and what was it, 11 straight they won? I mean, that's not a team that you see BTFO to the playoffs and lose. But that's what happened. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. Teams that have better lineups and better stats and everything, and even in some cases better numbers, don't end up winning.
Yeah, and speaking of
but the Rams' defense was the best defense in the league this year.
I'm not disputing that.
It wasn't even close.
It just seems awfully convenient that the Rams win in Los Angeles, much like the Bucs in Tampa Bay last year.
Sure, and other people would talk about home field advantage, which is a thing in the NFL.
Well, it certainly is now, because now we've had back-to-back years where a team won the Super Bowl in their own stadium, which means that where's the next Super Bowl? Because that's
a question.
Because that's who's going to win next year. Watch. Just watch. I'm predicting here. The next winner of the Super Bowl will be wherever the next Super Bowl is.
It's going to be at State Farm Stadium up the street from where I'm at.
So, therefore, the next winner is the Arizona Cardinals. I'm predicting it right here, right now, on February 16th in 2022, guys.
Oh, they are a good team, and they did great this year. So, I mean, how surprising should it be?
Well,
I don't like the Cardinals.
well, no, I mean, I wouldn't like them if it weren't for, DeAndre much either, but,
Well, I'm saying it's going to happen because the NFL wants teams to win Super Bowls in their stadiums now, apparently. And so I'm predicting the NFL is going to make it happen. by hook or by crook. The Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl. But with all of that in mind, let's talk about that. What's that?
If I may ask, bro.
Yeah.
You tell them how many years has it been since I was a hometown team fan of a football team?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even know if I don't even know if I can count that high, much less if you ever were.
Yeah, the answer to that question is I've never been a hometown team fan.
Yeah, your team is the Texans, which
of any team I've lived at.
Yeah, because as I was saying, here's a fun fact for you. Desert Nord is a diehard and literally diehard Houston Texan fan.
Yeah, the team is the one doing the dying.
As far as I'm concerned with whatever I consider my team, I'm a free agent. So NFL franchises call me. Yes, I know I'm wearing Broncos, but that's because of Peyton Manning at the time.
I used to call you a Sunshine Patriot because you were back and forth between Patriots.
I'm whomever wants to consistently be a decent organization. Let's put it that way.
So basically none of them?
Yeah. So I'm a free agent, so you tell me. But
you'd be like, I don't like any of these teams. I don't care who wins. I don't like any of them. That would be your opinion at that point.
Despite the fact that some people in some streams, they know I'm from Minnesota, so they're like, oh, so you're a Viking. And then I don't say shit because I don't care.
Yeah, but you're not going to be like, pounding the floor saying, skull, skull, that's not you.
To be fair, I do fancy Viking culture because I live in Minnesota, but it is what it is. Hence why my second favorite Assassin's Creed game is fuck, the controller turned off.
And his controller died.
Oh boy.
It turned off. As I was saying, my second favorite Assassin's Creed game is in fact Valhalla, while Black Flag being number one.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the thing about it is it's probably an apt prediction to say that the Cardinals will be in the Super Bowl next year. I wouldn't doubt it. It's very possible. And again, it'll be a home game. People are going to start to notice, though, if you have 3 home game Super Bowl contestants in a row. People are going to be like,
I'm going to read through this series of messages in the chat from Red Hood here. So first up, we have like Carolina Panthers versus Denver Broncos. Panthers completely threw the game so Peyton could get his ring before he retired. That actually was his second ring, by the way, because he won one with the Colts at the time. Next message. Never got over that. Panthers were playing good until the whole year till Super Bowl 50. So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Cam was the MVP of the year.
Yeah. He was the league MVP. Panthers lost only one game leading up to Super Bowl 50 in Minneapolis, mind you. Because I know that because I have the T-shirt. Because that was at retail stores all over the area here when the Super Bowl was coming to Minnesota, which was a big deal because Super Bowls never came north back in the day.
Yeah.
Because of open stadiums and shit. And no one wanted to play a Super Bowl in the snow.
Yeah, so you can imagine how I'm bracing myself, bro.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of Super Bowls, we got to talk about that halftime show and the NFL's decision of who they chose or sought out to do this year's halftime show. Dr. Dre, who's known for songs about killing police officers. Snoop Dogg, we all know his history and what his music is like. And Eminem. Those were the three headliners. Oh, as well as Mary J. Blige, but
yeah, and 50, and Kendrick Lamar, and a few others. Yeah,
yeah, but 50 Cent was like the surprise guest there. So.
Yeah, but here's my problem.
It was also Anderson .Paak and Silk Sonic were there too. I would mention.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. But what matters is this. In a time where, what's the best way to put this? I think the best way to put this is one of Tom McDonald's songs, "Blame the Rappers." Yeah, modern day hip hop is putting kids in their graves between making them want to do drugs, drink, use guns. By the way, you can't clean that blood.
Is this your boomer take on this? kind of sounds like you're doing the boomer shit about this one.
Here's the thing though. When it comes to
these damn kids and their music,
well, if it were really a boomer thing, I would be complaining about younger rappers like ones that I don't even know the names of actually.
Well, because the reason I say that, bro, is not to make fun of you or anything.
I know that, but
you've been on the other side of this with the video game violence argument.
Yes, I have. But here's the thing.
Because you were pissed off at Trump when Trump insinuated that video games do that.
Yes, and I still am to this day.
Which was a major fucking boomer take from him.
Yeah. But here's the thing. If this was a boomer take on modern hip-hop, I would be throwing the younger artists under the bus. I'm not doing that. I'm throwing under the bus the old guys here. Not so much Eminem, because, yeah, he took a knee at the Super Bowl, but free speech, right? But...
well, I'd say that about the whole thing.
But if you want good influences on a grand stage and you don't want to have to tell the artist, hey, can you tone this, and this down? And can you not wear crib color, Snoop Dogg? Which he did, by the way.
Yeah, but you know that they haven't. The Super Bowl halftime performers have been people who are over the line for decades now.
Yeah.
People who are bad influences for decades now. I mean, what, were the Stones a good one? Were Aerosmith good? I mean,
I would say no.
Beyonce's a good role model, but hey, what do I know?
I agree with you. I honestly, if I were, and I know this is gonna sound bad, but if I were the one seeking out talent to do the halftime show, I wouldn't be going after the old guard of hip hop. I wouldn't be going after all of these questionable character people. The first person that I probably would be turning to is, for starters, a couple. I'm just gonna throw names out there and see what sticks with the chat and you guys. John Rich.
Never heard
of him. He was a part of the team of Big and Rich. He's a country music star.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But you got to remember that among the crowd they were trying to play to,
the
NFL, I mean, the POC crowd, the country stars would have gone over like a wet fart in their face. So that wasn't the theme of the NFL in this Super Bowl.
True.
Plus, it was LA as well too, so they're like, all right, let's do LA stuff.
They had one choice.
Well,
they really had one.
Well, then if you had one choice, then here's the one person, and then whoever he chose to bring with as a guest is a whole nother story. But I would have gone with Eminem as the headline for the Super Bowl halftime show.
He's not LA. He's only LA by proxy.
Well, that's close enough because all the other LA crap is crap.
Well, pardon me, but I think Eminem's crap. But hey.
Yeah. Eminem nowadays is crap, in my opinion, though.
Yeah.
Like, all the old
True.
Eminem is
That
when
is
he
true.
became political and did that thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like
But if I'm being honest,
Yes.
yeah. But if I'm being honest with the music that we heard at the halftime show, there was only one song that I liked that I felt that fit with the tone of like competition, and that was the one song that Eminem did.
So, you talking about 8 Mile?
Yeah. Because I actually still like that song. So, and to me, it actually kind of fit with the premise of competition, which, as we know, the Super Bowl isn't into anymore, but still.
In the car, we get Mom's spaghetti.
It's so funny too.
Yeah.
The memes about that are so funny.
But yeah, but I like the song just the same. But
I also saw one where somebody said it looks like 50 cents, no longer 50 cents. Looks like more like $1.
But that's another thing. I also enjoyed hearing that song from him too, because that also took me back to high school.
Well, yeah, the whole thing was supposed to be nostalgic.
Which
Every
it was, but
was at least 30 years old.
But
or 20.
But honestly, when Dre and Snoop were doing their thing, I took a bathroom break. When I heard Eminem, I wrapped up what I was doing quickly to come listen to him. And then as soon as I heard 50, I stuck around for that. Everything else did not fucking matter in the halftime show to me. So.
Yeah.
But
well,
what's that?
I did like the halftime show besides to acknowledge that I know that Eminem did take that knee as a what's his name? I'm like, all right.
Colin Kaepernick.
I don't like
Well, the fact that Eminem took a knee did not surprise anyone who had half a functioning brain. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't like come dressed in a, F Trump shirt.
Which, to be fair, probably would have been slightly funny given the fact that I like a song from Burden called F Biden. So I'm not going to hate someone for saying F Trump anyway, but still.
No, I know, but he do that type of thing. He's all about the virtue signal at this point.
Yeah.
He wants people to think he's a better person, even though he's already told us in rap songs that he's a terrible person.
At least he's honest.
Most of his mid-2000s rap is about how terrible of a person he is. And it's like, not ashamed about it. Now suddenly he wants to virtue signal every chance he gets and tell us he's a better person than all these effing Republican Trump supporters. He's really pathetic at this point.
Well, I take back what I said. He was honest. Now he's full of shit.
Uh-huh.
I miss the old honest Eminem, but still.
Well, I missed it when he was actually edgy, because being in favor of corporate liberalism is not edgy. Believe me, it's not.
Yeah.
As Tom McDonald said, he's the new Eminem. So I'm gonna take Tom at his word, but still.
The one thing I did want to say.
Yeah.
Is that for what it is worth, or what it was, if you were into 90s gangster rap, it was probably the best you could have got in terms of a halftime show.
Yeah.
It wasn't, for what it was worth, it wasn't bad. If you were going for that, you got it, and you were happy.
So on that note, before we get to the biggest asshole in Canada and talking about all that shit, I am going to play something here which encapsulates what I was saying about the halftime show here. As soon as I find it here. It's kind of far back, apparently. Or maybe I'm going too far back. I don't know. Yeah, I did go too far back. Is it not on YouTube anymore?
What you talking about, bro?
Tom McDonald's Dear Rappers. Oh, never mind. Blame the rappers. I was looking for the wrong one. So, yeah. So, we're going to hear from Tom McDonald and Dax. Blame the rappers. Here. Right here, right now, guys. After the ad.
Yeah, I'm a rapper, but I'm losing my respect for the genre. How many songs about Xanax and alcohol are we dropping? How many kids we gonna kill for we admit it's a problem? Probably stop if it was one of our sons or one of our daughters. We know our demographic is primarily youth. We glorify breaking the law, the children in school. Kids copy what we see and imitate what we do. They'll go to jail for doing the things we thought them was cool. We put women in our videos exploiting their bodies, but little girls around the world grab their phone and they watch it. They need a realistic role model, not just a Barbie. They see strippers and escorts, but no lawyers or doctors. Hey, hip-hop, what the hell happened? It was power to the people and we like that stuff. These days you're promoting that it's fun to be an addict, so I'm asking, how could y'all write that, bruh?
And before we get to the main line of the song, just to remind you, go follow Tom McDonald and Dax on YouTube. They both have YouTube channels. And go check the video out for yourself. It's really good. And drop a like and subscribe to both Dax and Tom McDonald. But with that in mind, let's keep going.
It was power to the people and we like that stuff. These days you're promoting that it's fun to be an addict, so I'm asking, how could y'all write that, bruh? You can blame the rappers and you know but your favorite song are about doing drugs. So what happens after these kids grow up? And who's to blame for who they've become? They made it look so cool, the super's gone. And hate the cop, and to get too drunk, you can blame the rappers when you show up and love the song that make you dumb. You can blame making music is a privilege and a choice, and if you ever get to be successful, you must understand the people that you influence. I swear by what you say, and that the melodies you sing make wings, build dreams, and fill voids. We got medication straight through voice. Some give life, and some destroy. And even though this money seems nice, it can't come, so we must take that as a hint. That there's other things in life we should enjoy. We move mountains, we cross states, we play roles in presidential debates. So don't you try and tell me making music is for fun, and you don't care about the things that our music helped make. Man, I know I'm not perfect, but I'll change. I'm the outcome of this world and my pain, and this music is pills, and I promise this dose that you take won't make you say, you can blame the rappers and you know but your favorite song are about doing drugs. So what happens after these kids grow up? And who's to blame for who they've become? They made it look so cool, the super's gone. And hate the cop, and to get too drunk, you can blame the rappers when you show up and love the song that make you dumb. You can blame the rappers. Yeah, I'm a rapper, but I swear that I'm embarrassed. Half of these artists can't even talk, they just mumble the lyrics. And the teenagers listen while they rebel from their parents, while the rappers tell them pop a pill, buy Gucci and wear it. They say screw the police, break the rules, smoke weed, buy some shoes you don't need, rep the hood in your street. All these rappers holding guns and now the kids want some. Mess around and kill a homie, you can't clean that blood. We encourage being stupid with our music, and we're normalizing poor moral standards while we do it. Little boys see the way that women look on our videos and assume it's real life, project that image on little girls. It's unrealistic. If you're young and you listen, you are one in a million. You are loved, you are different. Hey, hip-hop. I know life moves on, but while I'm here, how could you write that, dog? You can blame the rappers and you know but your favorite song are about doing drugs. So what happens after these kids grow up? And who's to blame for who they've become? They made it look so cool to shoot those guns and hate the cops and to get too drunk. You can blame the rapper when you show up and love the song that make you dumb. You can blame the rapper. Dollar bills and popping pills like party songs. It's not cool in real life. Cheap thrills and going till the morning comes. See what this feels like. You can blame the rappers when you blow up, but your favorite songs are about doing drugs. So what happens after these kids grow up? And who's to blame for who they've become? They made it look so cool to shoot those guns and hate the cops and to get too drunk. You can blame the rappers when you show up and love the song that make you dumb. You can blame the rappers.
Yep. That song, Blame the Rappers, is from Tom McDonald's album, Gravestones. So that's how I feel about certain artists in the rap industry and modern rap music for the most part. A lot of it is crap.
Oh, nowadays it's crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time when it had a distinct, and maybe even perhaps important point and message.
Yeah.
And it needed to be explained to the most of culture of the United States what was going on in those inner city places they didn't live. And that something needed to be done about it. Now, was anything done about it? No. It was made worse.
You guys keep talking about, just pick a topic. I'll be right back. I got to go to the bathroom here.
All right.
Yeah.
I am calling out Doja Cat. Doja Cat is garbage. Like, there's two songs that are being played on the radio nonstop. There's one with what's his name? Weekend. It's like, what is it? She's like, what is it? I got a guy, but I want you. And there's also the other one. What is it? I just want to F all night. Yeah. It's kind of funny because my niece likes Doja Cat though, but she showed me this one video where she's like, the cat goes moo. Like, she has a song that's like, she goes moo. It's funny as hell. It's like, I don't know. It's like out of the blues. Like, but still, it's just like out of all the damn rappers now, that's all they talk about. It's just like sex and drugs, and that's about it though. But like, it comes to hip hop, like basically. I know Drew didn't like the halftime show. I did like the halftime show though, but like, that's basically what the rap that I actually grew up to. Like,
and
Dre,
back when it had a message, it had an importance. It had something important to say.
Especially Tupac as well too. And then there was also what's that guy with the glasses and no what's his name? Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. The guy with the
Yeah.
It's a Waterground, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Called. No, but I don't know, like Eminem. I don't know, like Eminem just dropped off the bandwagon. Does that crap? It's just like, no, thank you.
Yeah, when he talked about life in Detroit and talked about his upbringing and talked about the struggle, that was his good work.
My favorite album was the Eminem Show, I believe, the one with the red curtains.
Yeah.
Superman, yeah, that was probably the best album. Also, Marshall Mathers, like all the old school Eminems. There's a couple songs
between. I was gonna say between 2003 and 2011 is when he did, his most popular work.
There is a couple songs from this newer generation that he does now that is okay.
Yeah.
I prefer his older stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing but older work in regards to Dre and Snoop. Yeah, I mean, what was Snoop's most recent was like 10 years ago.
Something like that. And then I know what is it, Dr. Dre did come out with a new album.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that was.
But they left their mark. They left their mark in the 90s and the 2000s. And so, I mean, that's what it's from another time. It's music from another time. And all the artists they included, I don't know what they were trying to do. That Kendrick Lamar stuff was, I don't know. I was just like, what is he even bothering to be there for?
I didn't even know what songs to I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I didn't understand a single word that he was saying in his song.
I don't know. I was watching the halftime show on my phone, so it was like iPhone 12 Pro Max phone. So
yeah, I have a certain amount of respect for the older stuff because I understand it was at a time when people needed to hear that. For whatever cause and effect, they needed to hear what was said by those original artists.
I can tell you this:
nowadays, you're right. Nowadays it's crap. I mean, it's not better. It's just talking about sex, drugs, and killing. I mean,
it did not age well, but the halftime show made me go back and watch older halftime shows. Specifically, one leaps out to me as the best halftime show of all time, Michael Jackson.
Sure. Most people consider that to be one of the better ones.
And then second best would probably be Prince. For a wide range of reasons. One, I'm a Minnesota boy, so how can I not like Prince, first of all? And secondly, he was playing live wire guitars in a fucking rainstorm. That is so fucking dangerous.
Yeah, technically.
That Prince had balls to last a lifetime.
But he could easily have it grounded so it wouldn't
electrocute
him.
And it didn't, so that probably was the case. But the fact of the matter was Prince doing that. And as a behind the scenes thing that I saw, one of the producers went up to Prince and went, It's raining like hell out. You're gonna have live wire guitars. Are you okay with all of this? And Prince went, Can you make it rain harder?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. That was Prince.
Well, nobody has to tell us that Prince was big into rain.
Yeah. Well,
we all know this.
Purple Rain. So. But those are my top two halftime shows of all time: Michael Jackson. Honestly, and then Prince.
If Prince could have done the whole show in nothing but a Speedo in the rain, he would have. That's the way he was.
True.
The guy just was trying to ooze sex at every moment, and that's pretty much what he accomplished.
But to get the point across about real inclusion, real all of these buzzwords, look no further for the real version of it than Michael Jackson's Pepsi halftime show back in 1993 when it was the Cowboys versus the Bills. You had black and white, We Are the World, and the gathering of humanity. You had all races, every color under the sun, and even some we probably didn't know about. They're in unity. In 1993, what happened to us?
Well, you take advocacy too far. That's what.
Everything was fine back in the 90s.
Yourself. Yeah, you start kidding yourself, and you start taking an argument to its extreme.
Which is exactly what's happened. But still, speaking of,
I think every side is taking their argument to their extreme. They don't want to hear music that doesn't conform with their ideology. They don't want to hear a commercial. They don't want to see an advertisement. They don't want to see a movie that challenges their ideas. That's true. Used to be just true of conservatism. Now it's true of liberals too.
So speaking of, what's that?
No, I was just saying that not wanting to have your views challenged, not wanting to be disagreed with, not wanting to hear the other side is something conservatives used to only do. Now the left does it too.
Speaking of getting,
the left is not wanting to hear the other side.
That's a perfect segue for the last thing we have here. Not wanting to hear the other side, not wanting to be challenged. The Freedom Truckers in Canada and Canada's biggest fucking asshole. What the fuck is his name again? I don't even know, and I don't even care what the hell his name is.
Are you baiting me?
No, I'm trying to remember what the hell their name of their Prime Minister Trudeau. Thank you.
Yeah.
Trudeau.
Anyway,
Castro.
Yeah, they've invoked their emergency, whatever the fuck it is, their emergency powers like Palpatine.
Yeah, because they want to be able to, arrest not only truck drivers but wrecker drivers and tow truck drivers. Arrest them too. Make everyone comply with what the state wants, regardless of the law, regardless of their liberties.
Except for we got an update from.
Talking about,
yeah.
He's basically wanted to institute martial law, but Parliament was like, no. So he had to dial it back to emergency powers.
However, we got an update from Mobile Hive Mind here about an hour ago. Truckers win vax passports dropped across Canada. So
in certain provinces, yeah. In Ottawa, in the municipality of Ottawa, it's a real fight. But they've won in Saskatchewan and Alberta. They're done with everything out there. But those places are basically Trump country in Canada. They're not gonna. They didn't want it in the first place. But this, the province of Quebec. And especially in the inner cities of southern Canada is where you see these hives of restriction and like Nazification of society, with the passports.
And then add to it Canada's government saying that under the emergency powers, they can freeze the truckers' personal bank accounts.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I expect them to be persecuted by that government because they've crossed the line against them, and you can either comply with them or you can be their eternal enemy. That's how they operate. And so they've crossed them, and the Canadian government is now going to do, and Trudeau is going to do everything he and they can to make those people's lives a living hell. I mean, it's going to turn into a third world situation real quick.
Or it's going to turn into a civil war in Canada, one of the two.
Yeah, well, that's certainly possible. Depends on people's choices.
And their willingness to stand up for themselves.
Yeah, or how willing the government of Canada is willing to go to abuse them.
However,
that's the other end of it.
I feel comfortable with saying this much on stream. Given your or our bloodline, Desert Nord, I fully support whatever choice the Anyone fighting for their freedom chooses to take because they're defending their liberty. I'm just saying.
Yeah, isn't it amazing that all they really wanted was to leave me alone. Leave me alone was what the truckers wanted, and that wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Considering what I mean by our family's bloodline on our mom's side, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're supposed to be descendant from soldiers who fought in the American Revolution, right?
We have many different descendancies, but that is one of them, sure.
Yeah. As is the original French spelling of our mom's maiden last name on the Mayflower Compact, so there's that too.
Well, sure, but that's also one of the most common names
True.
in that area. So, I mean, it's no surprise. But
yeah.
What I was going to say is that if a government says no, when people say, I just want to live my life, I just want to go to dinner and have a dinner with my family, I just want to engage in commerce, I just want to do my job, I just want to haul products, I just want to be left alone, and the government says no, that government
I think the government just canceled Nord. Either that or his controller turned off again. Okay, so
yeah, sorry about that.
So Nord got temporarily canceled by his controller. The government turned off your controller.
No, it matters. Anyway,
I know.
The thing is,
I was joking.
You remember the preamble of our own Constitution?
Yes.
And our own Declaration of Independence, specifically our Declaration of Independence, states that any government that becomes destructive to the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness of the people that they are governing, it is justly to be destroyed. That form of government should be abolished. That's what our founders stated, and I don't see how that's any less true today.
So the Canadian government and our own government, then?
Well, any government that comes against those names. Any government that comes against those things.
I'm talking about specifically based on what's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't just apply to ours or theirs or whatever. It applies to a lot of different governments. China. Anyway.
Yeah.
There is a serious lack of allegiance to liberty among the leaders of governments. And it's sort of like a slide that you could expect. It's exactly what always does happen with governments eventually. And as they grow, as they get bigger, as they start believing their own PR, as they start believing that they have the truth on their side, and they start believing that everything they do is okay because they've made it legal, or that everything they do is legal by definition, and that's their standard of ethical behavior, is that if it's legal because we made it legal, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You've danced yourself to the dark side. You're no longer, not only are you not a legitimate government, you're not even a government at that point. You're a gang. You're a gang of powerful individuals abusing people at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And to have people oppose that is quite nice to see, because it's not called for governments these days to still be acting like governments did 550 years ago.
Yeah.
You don't still have to be acting like brutal tyrants for no reason. People will do the right thing for themselves, and if they don't, it's their loss. I've never understood this idea of, if that guy gets sick and dies, that hurts all of society. It's like, he doesn't owe you anything. You don't own him. You don't own other people. We did away with that. The government doesn't own us. No one owns each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if harm is done, that's what laws are for. If someone truly does harm another person, that's what civil lawsuits are for. We already have that in place. We don't need anything else. And if you haven't harmed someone else, you shouldn't be abused by the state. Simple as that.
Agreed.
And the state of Canada, the government of Canada, disagrees with this assessment. They think that people who are uncompliant do not deserve to live and do not deserve to exist. He even said so.
There was
a
video that he did back in 2013, I believe it was, praising the president or whatever of China because he's a dictator.
Sure, kind of like when our own president decided to excuse the genocide they're committing over in China by saying it's just their culture. Well, that's nice.
So if the dictator over in China is the modern equivalent of a little man with a mustache, if you will, that means Trudeau is the modern equivalent of Mussolini.
Well, the things that he has said and the things that he believes, he's not doing anything he's doing for love and safety. He's not doing all those things for the good and liberty of the people of Canada.
Exactly.
Not that I can talk to what the institution of the Canadian government is supposed to be what its mission statement is, but I know what the mission statement of ours is. I know what the goals, the intentions of ours is supposed to be, and it's to keep us free and keep us intact as a nation. Our own government is failing at those ends, but that's a separate matter. But Trudeau is absolutely talking and acting almost parallel to a certain mustache man from the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're stuck on the same continent with him.
And of course, there will always be people who will sit there and cheerlead. There was cheerleaders then for that guy, and there's cheerleaders now for this guy. But it's not a whole lot different. No.
Yeah. So on that note, Joshy, do you have anything you want to add?
I think those what are the truckers at Raw? I don't know.
Yeah.
And we also have people that we admire and respect and consider to be internet family, Kristen Nova and X-Ray Girl and Mark the Cyborg, who live on that side of the border.
Mm-hmm.
So our thoughts and prayers are with, well, not just them, but all of the people of Canada, but still.
Yeah, I mean, Lord help them if it goes any further.
Yeah.
I mean, and on that matter, good day, mate, to all the Australians who were in prison.
And God be with Lethal Lightning there and Lyndon. And I think Raging Rhino's there too, right? In Australia.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, so to those three gentlemen, our prayers are with you as well. As it turns out, the people that are in the best place are either Jeremy, Drunk 3PO, Minority Home, and now Gary in Texas and Florida, respectively.
I believe Ripa's in Texas too, I think.
Okay, and Ripa. Wait, is Comics Division in Texas as well?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so there you go. The best place to live is Florida and Texas right now.
Nevada also took down their
Yeah, they did.
But I stand by Texas being the number one place to move.
Arizona's not bad. if you're not in the downtown of Phoenix or anything.
I'm just going off
or
of
Tucson. Tucson, oh boy.
I'm just going off of the states that come across as caring the most about liberty and freedom: Florida and Texas. So,
yeah, we got a free streak out here in AZ.
I'm not disputing that because Arizona would obviously be third.
It is just to move down to Maricopa.
Yeah.
Well, so far I'm fine in Winona. I'm largely
areas.
left alone here, so.
There are freer areas and there are more strict areas.
But
I mean, if you're talking about the Phoenix Valley, it's one of the largest metros in the entire planet.
that's what our uncle said when he was doing research moving from Chicago to Arizona. He was looking at the size of the city of Phoenix. It's way bigger than Chicago, as he puts it, and he was shocked.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
yeah, it's really a lot larger than Chicago. Yeah.
Speaking of cities, let's finish talking about because I feel like talking about this because it's recent news. Let's talk about Night City.
Yes. Let's talk about Night City.
And speaking of Night City, the next gen version of Cyberpunk came out yesterday as CD Projekt Red stealth dropped it. So
yeah, I didn't find out about that until I saw Geeks and Gamer thing yesterday, and then that's when I posted it to all you guys. I'm like, hey, look at this.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw it, I stopped playing Madden because I wasn't in the middle of a game. Immediately purchased the digital next-gen version for my Series S and started downloading it before the conversation with Joshy was over. At that point. So I started over with a new character with a female V just to see the new shit. My opinion on the stuff that's available, there isn't much new stuff for the created shit for the female character. It seems to be all for the male character. So that's an interesting point. Because when I created my female V, whom is on the cover of it now, it seems a bit lacking in comparison to what Joshy was showing with his male character on stream last night. So
and I spent like 10 minutes with my character creator yesterday.
Yeah. Well, 10 minutes is an understatement. It was more like 20, 25, I think.
Yeah. They did have more character. I can't talk. Character customization. So, but I still see a little bugs though. On the training mission though, from the weapons and junk, it did have. I did see a T-pose for at least a half a second during my live stream.
So on that note, how does the game look in comparison?
I got it on performance mode, so basically it's going to be built at 60 frames per second. It looks pretty good.
I have no idea what mode I have it on my Series S, but it is what it is.
And they did say that they upgraded the character models as well too, so they don't look so stiff or whatever. From what I've seen so far. Excuse me. But I'm only still in the beginning though. But from all the character models that I've seen, from what they said that they redid the characters so they look more realistic though. So from what I've seen. Even though I'm in the beginning, it looked pretty good compared to how it first came out.
And there's also the report Which I pointed out while you were still live last night that there's supposed to be new romance options too.
Yeah, they said something about you can text or text them.
Yep.
Well, we'll see, I guess, because I'm gonna get back to it after we're done here.
Yeah, I was thinking I'll probably take like a little 15, 20-minute break after our stream here, and then I'll probably go ahead and stream it.
All right. But with all that in mind, any last minute things before we close things out here?
This is part of the gaming news now. Like yesterday, like they did have a little bit of a news break yesterday. As of Netflix, they did require, I believe, BioShock movie or BioShock series. I'm not sure which one of the two though, but they did. There is going to be BioShock coming on Netflix. So I don't know how I feel about that because I know some Netflix movies are good, great, and some are bad. So I don't know how I feel about that though.
It's gonna be based on what we're hearing thing, I think, to do anything with it.
I got nothing else.
Nord, do you have any last minute thing you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered everything I could mention.
All right. So with that in mind, the Gina Carano movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we talked about that on stream yet, right?
Well, it's an upcoming thing, so naturally we'll mention it some more later.
Yeah, but any your thoughts on potentially watching it or this, that, and the other thing, which is a Western?
It looks good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's definitely highly interesting. It reminds me of Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty.
What's that?
It looks pretty good, but the only thing is, I don't know what the Daily Wire is doing though, because I know their last movie, Shut In, they did show it that one night, and now like since I haven't seen it, I'm trying to find it and I can't find it anywhere. So I don't know, unless it's like a one and done deal, or unless they sell it on their website or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. If you're busy or whatnot though, and you can't watch it, and then all of a sudden you try to watch it the next day and you can't find it, that's the only downside I see about it though. I kind of did want to see Shut In though, but it's just like now it's just like a 1 day thing, and I can't find it. Because I don't know, possibly because I'm not subscribed to their I don't pay for their service. I don't know.
I do know that Shut In, they premiered on their YouTube channel. Because I remember seeing that there. Let me check their channel right now.
I'm about to check it again too, because I know like the next day, like after I wasn't able to find it though. It was showing like trailers up the yin yang for it though, but I was able to find it and watch it again. So because I only watched like at least like 5 minutes, so I was kind of interested in seeing that. Also, there was another movie that I saw that was from the Daily Wire, which is the high school one, the high school shooting one. I don't know. It was with that one chick from Kick-Ass. I don't know her name though, but she was like the secondary character compared to the main character for Kick-Ass though. But yeah, like she was in a high school and there was like some shooting and whatnot though. Like I guess those were one of her first movies though. But they didn't really. I don't know. Like, I just found it out. Found out about it yesterday. I was gonna watch it though, but I don't know.
I think I might have found something when typing in a search on YouTube. Shut In. It's I guess as the YouTube channel is labeled, it's just called Movies. It's about 1 hour and 29 minutes and 12 seconds long. I don't know if that's the Shut In movie from the Daily Wire or if it's like some knockoff thing, but I found something that's watchable in the full thing here.
Yeah, because I think when was going to watch. I think it was like an hour and 25 minutes, hour 30. So yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, so yeah, so if you just type in search shut in, you should find it. It was posted 3 days ago.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Certain YouTube movies aspire rent. Yeah. Okay, so we have to buy a rent though. All right, thank you though.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to set on my backlog.
All right. Yeah, I'm hoping that Gina Carano's movie gets premiered on YouTube, much like Shut In, and I'll try to watch it live, regardless of what I have going on at that point.
They'll probably be protesting it more than streaming it.
No, I heard people are trying to protest it right now. So.
Yeah.
But either way, it is something that I do want to watch just the same.
Yeah.
Likewise. That reminds me of Westworld as well. Westworld has
it does have that feeling. At least the early parts of Westworld.
Yeah.
But with all of that in mind, we got nothing else here at this point. As I said, I'm going to be playing a little more Cyberpunk while I'm making something to eat right after this on my Series S. Joshy's going to be streaming it on his Twitch channel. I'm going to try to go live for a little bit on my Twitch channel for some Witcher a little bit later on too, because I do try to stream that on Wednesdays as well. And then beyond that, I'll see you guys on Saturday for some more Skyrim. Because Thursday and Fridays, I usually don't plan to stream, but don't write me off on not seeing me at some point on Thursday completely. Because if I'm bored and want to do something, I might go live on YouTube or something to play Horizon Zero Dawn after work. I don't know. But
I'm going to take a little break and then I'm going to go ahead and stream. So
yeah,
I'll post on Twitter.
Yep. Nord, your plans after we're done?
Yeah, just everything normal. You know how it is. It's another day.
Everything normal.
Another day of grinding.
Is that
another day of grinding, bro? You know how it is.
Is that like Chewy flying casual?
Yeah, sure.
Everything normal. Situation normal.
Yeah.
Since this is breaking rocks, well, too, I want to mention one.
I
saw a video yesterday. From John Talks. John Talks, good YouTuber though. But besides that, there's a video. I don't know. He's got 2 channels. There's John Talks and John Talks. So if you look him up, there are 2 channels.
Uh-huh.
But one of the video that I posted to Drew and Desert yesterday was on John Talks too, and it was funny. I forget what the name of the video was. Like I think it was like, you won't believe this. There's basically.
Oh yeah. It was those stupid college students who were protesting that they want the mask mandates back in place.
Yeah, it's like a 30-second video though. It's like she's like, "What do we want? Mask mandates."
Yep.
Or something like that. It's like,
and as I pointed out to Josh, if I was that ugly, I'd want to cover my face permanently too.
Yeah. Wow.
And I said one thing. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say they're so scared. I mean, and this is if I believe they're being honest, which I don't. They're scared. The honest ones are scared, which is stupid. So the honest ones are stupid, and the dishonest ones I don't have time for. So that pretty much sums up that crowd.
Yeah, and there's one. In my opinion, there's only one possible good thing that came out within the last 3 years. It's just that you can totally tell who the lunatics are compared to the actually normal. Because I don't know, you see like all the leftist lunatics, it's just yeah. There's also one other thing though. I also saw too. There's this someone posted this on Valentine's Day, but then they deleted it though. Like it said, like it will show the guy and a girl in like a classroom, like the desk seat, whatever. Like the guy asked her, "Want to be my Valentine?" And she's like, "Are you fully vaccinated?" It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, that's just cringe. Ugh.
Yeah.
They find a way. They find a new way to divide society, don't they? Every time.
So I think we'll end with something funny here. I noticed in front of me the thumbnail for Geeks and Gamers main event from 15 hours ago. They're all laughing, and young Ripa, Eric July, just put food in his mouth and is spitting it out into a napkin as everyone else is laughing. So it looks like someone made Ripa do a spit take on main event. Which I just wanted to end that because I see that right in front of me on my screen, and it's quite funny to see him spitting food out. Because I never see Eric July doing that. But on that note, thank you to Red Hood, Joshy. Obviously, you were on the panel too. Chunk the Punk for being here for our ranting about bullshit, activism, and real racism in our world, and also stupid decisions of the NFL. But on that note, I'll see you guys later on this evening for an hour or two of The Witcher before I go to bed, before I have to be up for work tomorrow morning. And Joshy will be live on his channel in just a little bit for some Cyberpunk 2077 as well. So yeah, so we'll see you guys later on. In the case of Joshy, in just a little while, and then me in a couple of hours over on my channel as well. Until then, have yourself a great rest of your late afternoon and into the evening, and I'll see you guys later. Have yourself a great few hours. Bye, guys.
Yes.
Yep. See ya.